Hey guys, welcome back to True Space. This is Harith. Right now we're going to speak about astrology and medical astrology and how kind of to understand how these things work together. Because a lot of time it's very hard to understand medical astrology on a physical level. Because a lot of people label medical astrology as pseudo because we already automatically labeled astrology as pseudo, which is it makes a lot of sense. But once I explain it to you the way you should understand it, is very easy to put these two together because medical astrology is about understanding how the body basically work. But first to understand how the body work, we first have to understand how these energies, which we call the 12 houses and the 7 planets, play out first on a mental attribute level, and we gotta understand our mental attribute, which we call the fourth, fifth, sixth dimension, the realm of life, the realm of thoughts and ideas, feelings and emotion, where we create energy that creates everything within our physical world, which is the first, second, third dimension, but it comes from our mind. So if we don't know how to correlate our mind properly together with the proper amount of masculine energy and the proper amount of feminine energy, then we're gonna be able to manifest and create a lot of things within our physical situations, because a lot of time we're very unbalanced, very polarized to one side of the energies. Sometimes we're too addicted to the masculine energy. We're addicted to logic, making sense, communicating, structures, angles, and things like that. While we might be sometimes lost in the feminine energy, we're lost in the darkness, we're lost in the emotions, the feelings, the intuition, the empathy, and all these things that lead to it. But if we will become aware of how we get lost in our own energies that we create in the mental realm, we wouldn't understand how we manifest certain physical health issues within our body or within the world, because we don't understand that these masculine and feminine energy play out within our body, giving some of our organs, our body system, masculine aspect, but also giving some of our body system, our organs, a feminine aspect. So you could say your organs and your body systems, they have sex together the same way you do with your mind. But sometimes the way we have sex within our mind creates harmful energy, which plays a dysfunction within the body. This is why it's important to learn how to maintain equilibrium. Now, so you have some organs that play out masculine, like your brain and nervous system. It shoots brain and nervous signals. Cardinal fire, Aries. You have your Virgo, your digestive system. It's a feminine organ. It receives things, it practicalizes it, and it transports it through the body. You got maybe Sagittarius, your muscular system. That's more of a masculine organ, versus Cancer, your lymphatic and immune system. That's more of a feminine organ. So if you are more dominant in masculine energy, you could have a very strong masculine organs within the physical world. But you might have weak feminine organs, which is gonna prevent you from getting the minerals you need, detoxing, regenerating, and healing, which is very important. But if you have a lot of you, if you utilize a lot of feminine energy in the subconscious realm, it would manifest as a lot of uh, issues dealing with maybe weakness of the body, too much fluid, too much hormones, lack of control of how the body structure itself, and things along this line. Because you gotta remember, feminine energy play out as chaos, which kind of puts the body in a kind of disorganization mode, but not to for it to destroy itself, but for it to organize itself, where masculine energy deal with structuring the body, but sometimes it go too far in that end, and that creates too much restrictions, boundaries, hardening the body, too many structures. Now that you gonna end up with a body where you might have strong bones, strong muscles, but your blood flow sucks, your immune system health sucks, your ability to fight against pathogen sucks, and things like that. So you're gonna really learn how to balance these masculine and feminine energy and how they play out through our physical attributes, aka our organ and our body system. But they first have to start with our mind, and our mind almost has like kind of 7 layer system to it, starting with the sun. So each layer is ruled by a different star and things along this line. So the first layer that we create with our mind is our sun, our solar plexus, our creativity, our self-expression. That light, that chakra we create, bend on itself to create the physical world, dealing with our blood, our health and circulatory system. If we have a good light, good form of self-expression, a good creativity, then we're gonna have a weak heart health. We're gonna have a weak circulatory system, and we're gonna look. We're gonna look old. It's gonna be we're not gonna be able to maintain the youthful look of Leo energy. Notice the fact that a lot of celebrities usually look younger compared to music execs who run the music industry, because the people who run the music industry, they're not jumping on that light, that chakra that creates the blood flow to allow you to stay vital and things along this line. And then from the sun, we create another layer around it, and that's our moon. So after we spark a light, a creativity, and ego, a self-expression, we create another layer around our mind. We call that the moon, our emotions and feeling. So now we're reacting to that self-creativity that we give birth to, aka the blood flow through the moon, our emotions and feeling. But the moon and emotions and feeling deal with our immune system, it deal with our lymphatic system. So if we just express too much creativity, self-expression, light, we can end up having a good blood health, but it's necessary to balance the blood health with what could help it detoxify itself, but also relax the blood flow, which would be the opposite of the sun, which would be the moon. The moon bend on itself to create the physical aspects of our white blood cells, our immune cells, our lymphatic systems, the same systems or the energy that allow our body to relax. So it's very important to balance that sun energy with the moon energy. Sometimes a lack of imbalance might play out as like a destruction with the body, because these are the two main luminaries that make up everything in the body. You could say your entire body is made up of different transitions of sun, your blood mixing with your moon, your lymphatic and your immune white blood cells combining together to create different things within your body, from your organs to your bones to your ligaments to your cartilage. They made of the same things, but they are different transitions of the same thing. From the moon layer that you created around your sun, now you might create a Mercury. Now Mercury deals with thinking, communication, analyzation, and that bend on itself to create Virgo, the digestive system, but also Gemini, the respiratory system. Mercury is what allows to transport things within our body. Mercury represents oxygen. It represents the faculty of transportation. Your veins, your arteries, all this deal with Mercury. If you don't have a good communication, good analyzation, good ways of transporting things, then you're not going to be able to do that within your body. This is why it's important to practice that energy of Mercury, because it's going to play out as a bad digestive system or a bad respiratory system. So now from that Mercury layer that you create around your mind, starting with the sun, then the moon, then Mercury, now you're thinking. Now from that layer, you start creating another layer. We call that Mars. That's your passions, your desire. So now you're no longer thinking. Now you're passionate, aggressive about all these layers that you created so far. Mars, that light, that chakra, bended on itself to create the first house, which be the brain and nervous system. If we don't spend a lot of time with our passion and desires, then we won't have nothing to express through the first house, our brain and nervous system. We can be aggressive. People won't be able to see the light within our eyes that's coming from igniting Mars, which is a representation of our neurons, the ability to produce light within ourselves. Mars also creates Mars feminine side as Scorpio, the reproductive system. So if you don't utilize the Mars energy, it could play as a weak ability to almost detoxify yourself, reproduce. If you don't have enough passions and desires, you could never get your reproductive system to work. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and things along this line, like people who experience erectile dysfunction, they might have lost the passion or desire for it, or might have used it too much. That'll be the negative side of it, which leads to abuse. This is why we need to become aware of our chakra. So from that Mars layer, you create another layer. That's Venus, that deals with love, harmony, relating, connecting with the people, and things like that. Now that lights produce our hormones. How can we create relativity within our organs to work together? Venus, that light, that chakra, bend on itself to create the second house, Taurus, which rules our endocrine system, our hormonal system, but also rule our kidney, our excretory system, which deal with the Libra. Libra, the seventh house, is ruled by Venus. But if we don't know how to communicate about love, harmony, appreciation, relating, then when that energy, we won't be able to manifest it through our hormonal endocrine system, Taurus. If we don't know how to value and securitize the proper things that we find makes us feel stable, grounded, then we will never tap into that good hormonal energy. Like if you know how to use Taurus energy, you're a person who go to bed on time. You're a person who value healthy food. You're a person who value what makes sense on a natural level and things along this line. Taurus energy go bad when it comes to consuming junk food, sugary food, which would be the bad side of Venus, which you should watch out for. But also it comes to the masculine side of Venus. If you don't know how to communicate about love, harmony, relationship, they will play out as a dysfunction within your kidneys. Your kidneys deal with the whole thing, dealing with balancing your blood flow. Your blood carries oxygen, your white blood cells. It carries your hormones. It carries things along this line, like multitude of things. This is why your blood is your Red Sea, but the kidneys is the house of judgment, which gotta judge the blood cells that is coming to see if they are healthy or not. This is why your kidneys detoxify your blood. One of the main aspect of protecting your heart, really. This is why kidneys issue are synonymous with heart issues. Heart issues are synonymous with kidney issues because Libra, sextile Leo, and Leo sextile Libra. So now after from that Venus layer, you create another layer. Now let's call that Jupiter. Jupiter is the Father, the Holy Ghost. It deals with extracting knowledge and wisdom and expanding, really helping you to grow. When Jupiter play out physically as allowing to expand your tissues, which will lead. Well, there's two ways to expand your tissue though, because remember Jupiter do expansion. You could expand your tissue, which create alkaline tissue, healthy tissue, or you could expand your tissue to create acidic, inflammatory based tissue. That's an experience you went through, but it led to more damages as opposed to more ways of building yourself, which we consider as alkaline. And Jupiter itself rules the faculty of alkalinity and acidity. Like Jupiter is where you experience the most expansion within your body. But Jupiter is very powerful, because if you utilize that ability to expand, extract knowledge and wisdom in, then it will play out through your muscular system. Sagittarius, the ninth house, as weak muscles, weak ability to travel. Just think about, for you to utilize the aspect of the ninth house to travel long distance, which could be physical and mental. If it's physical, then you have to utilize the entire body, which gets tiring. You gotta move your thighs, your leg. Your Sagittarius rules the thighs and leg, but it rules the entire muscular system. So if we don't practice that itself, we can develop our muscular system. And there's actually a lot of association between philosophy, the nine house energy, and moving your entire body. This is why a lot of martial artists, they're all about moving the body, tai chi, chi and stuff like that. In the eastern continent, China, Japan, and so on and so forth. It's different form of martial arts. The focus that makes you to train the entire body, expand it, contract it. If you don't expand your body and contract it, then your body cannot stay healthy. A great example of that are people. For example, let's say you go to the gym and you do pull-ups. Jupiter deals with expansion and contraction. So one of the most important things when it comes to working out is the ability to extend your muscles fully but also contract them, because we want to train with what, a full range of motion. Jupiter wants you to go through full ranges of motion. It wants you to expand all the way, contract all the way, so the next time you expand, you expand a bigger way. But what happens if you expand a little bit and you expand a little bit, like how some people work out by doing half reps, then you don't allow yourself to expand and contract all the way to expand to a bigger situation, which will prevent you from getting stronger in the gym. This is why one of the most important things to do in the gym is to actually do full reps, not half reps, where you probably seen people in the gym do like half chin-ups like this, as opposed to full range of motion for the father Jupiter. You get it? Now from Jupiter also rules Pisces, which would be the feminine aspect of it. If you don't expect, if you don't realize that chakra, that light, you could develop certain um health issues in the way you receive information from the external world. Pisces deals with our skin, but our skin is part of our immune system. So if we're not sensitive to what's happening to our skin, we can be sensitive to what might go inside our body, which might make us sick. So for example, your skin react immediately to what's happening around it. As soon as the weather changes, your hair might stand up. As soon as the weather changes or gets it changes to something else, your skin reacts immediately, because you gotta understand, your skin gotta communicate with your body all the time. Pisces, the skin is beside what? Aries, the first house, your brain and nervous system. So your skin when it interact with the physical world, it affects your nervous system immediately. Venus exalted in Pisces, so whatever your skin feels, it gotta create a hormonal response and things along this line. But now the last layer that you create around your mind and mentality, which has 7 layers. Remember, 7 layers of your mind are very close to the idea of having like 7 layers of your body. So we could put it the same way. It is 7 layers or 12 body parts. The best way to understand it. So the seventh layer is Saturn. Saturn deals with seeing the reality of things, seeing creating restrictions, boundaries. It's deal with harshness, cold, being distant. Our ability to structure ourselves but give ourselves strength on the positive side. On the negative side, it would deal with too much restrictions, too much a boundary, and that will lead to lack of flexibility. That's like a very stiff person who's not able to maintain a certain fluidity, which is very bad because you're not giving your body like enough time to accommodate all the different atmospheres you're experiencing while you're keeping your body so stiff. Like it's very hard to like deal with the external world if your body's stiff within. That's why you need a level of obviously stiffness, but also a level of openness. So basically so the Saturn, that light, that chakra which bend on itself, it creates our bones, our skeleton system. So if you utilize it properly in our life, we're gonna be a person who stands on weak bones, weak structure. Literally, like the only thing is making your body stand up, or your organs, your heart, your blood, is literally the fact that your skeleton system is creating a frame for you to stand up with. So if you utilize or develop the ability of Saturn, creating restriction, boundaries, learning how to be harsh, serious, then you might develop like a weaker body. Because since you're not one of these people who knows how to create restrictions and boundaries to see the reality of the things, you might develop a lot of fluids in your body, a lot of softness, lack of strength, and things along this line. You might prevent yourself from reaching your longevity, because there's a heavy relationship between Capricorn, the 10th house, and Cancer, because Cancer rules our lymphatic immune system, but our immune cells, our white blood cells, is what becomes our stem cells, which are hidden within our bone, which you call Capricorn, the 10th house. This is why Capricorn is so important. It act as the storage system of everything we created so far. Your bones, as I think, is made of your blood, your white blood cells, but majority of your white blood cells and your blood, and it keeps inside it a lot of minerals, a lot of vitamins, so it could utilize it when it needs to. Think of Capricorn, your skeleton system, your bones, as the banker of your body. This is why Capricorn is so cheap. This is why it's so stingy, because it understands the importance of these things that construct the body. And also, the masculine side of Saturn is Aquarius, the 11th house, dealing with the higher aspect of our nervous system. If you're in, like I said earlier, develop the energy of Saturn, the energy of restriction, strength, boundaries, then we also, through the masculine side of Saturn, we're gonna have a weak higher nervous system. We're gonna have a weak ability to connect multiple organs together through the faculty of the meridian system, or the astro sites, which rules Aquarius. And these systems basically allow us to connect multiple organs to create efficiency within the body, really. That's the best way to put it. But those organs, these body system, takes a lot of energy to deal with, since we're dealing with the signs or the zodiacs that are above the horizon, and we're dealing with a fixed air sign and things along this line. But either way, so these seven layers of your mind makes the different aspects of your body, and these seven layers, but they are ruled by different planets, have two sides to them, which manifest certain energies, which all deal with organs and body systems. And the more we understand a light and a chakra, and how does it create the physical aspect of that organ, then we could catch ourselves when we utilize that chakra, the light, which is the thought and feeling, which correspond with vibrating the organ or the body system. So we could start to take care of our health through a mental perspective first, which lead us to a good physical perspective, which we could maintain our physical health but throughout our mental health first. This is what makes astrology so perfect, because astrology explains the esoteric, speculative sides of our natures that we all experience, and medical astrology explain how can we utilize these mental attributes to our physical body, and understand how they manifest to our physical body and things along this line. But either way, thank you for listening.